There. I fixed it for you. Howdy, howdy, everybody. On twice in one day. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. I promise no more funny videos about that InstaSnap thing. That one was bugging me. I felt I'd try something a little new, have a little bit of fun with it, and figured, what the hell? So that'll, last one, I'll move on to some other mental issue that I have. Okay. So I'm trying to make this kind of quick. I began trying to dig into the JJFI session last week, on the 19th, and I finally got around to they finally got around to uploading comments and all that stuff. And this is that thing where when they submit bills and you can testify in person, or you can testify and give them your personal thoughts on the bills. So we all know what a couple weeks ago they did it. It was like zero comment. I mean, I was actually the one that commented on the bills for the most part. There's like a couple other groups that were doing other things, but I wanted to pull up here just kind of the responses or the comments, the number of comments they received, and kind of read through some of them. And one in particular was at HCR 81, which is the importance of fatherhood. One is I'll just share the info here versus yakking about it. It's the last one on the list here, HC81 by Satsline, and it's basically talking about the importance of fatherhood. He went through and did a big old long deal on it, and 7 comments received on it, and which is, I would say, horrible that only 7 people commented. But the fact that actually all 7 of those comments weren't positive. this is this is what we're up against, guys. Again, I'm gonna make it quick. I'm gonna show the comments, and then yeah, I got nothing here. So again, this is H1. Let's see, I think this is the H1 for Shat's line, and this was the bill was I don't want bore you with that, but the whole bill is basically talking about the importance of fatherhood and at least trying to get a resolution in there. This is the number of again, 7 comments. I'll go ahead and read through them. So we have they're up on the screen here. I'm actually getting a thing delivered later today to where I can get my monitors the way I want them, or try something new. But anyway, all right. So 7 comments. See, Richard. I'm going to butcher the last name, so I'm not going to try it. Comment was, we need fathers in every child's life, not as every other weekend guests, but as everyday active parents as much as possible. So that would be a point for positive comment. Next comment from a Claudia Forgakova, doing self as an operations manager in Fort Worth. Oh, hey. Okay, so, wow. Look at you, so concerned about familial problems. At the start of this bill, you act concerned about youth suicide. You know what the number one cause of death is in kids. It's guns. God, I wish I would have prepared. No, Claudia, it's not guns. And unfortunately, you should be able to, at this point, when they say that, you should then be able to discredit anything else they say because they're obviously not informed, but different, different thing. Okay, I mean, the bug got more kids than guns, but anyway, just that's off the top of my head. All right, it's guns. If you want to address deletion, like you claim, pass sensible gun laws, like requiring they be kept and locked safe away from children. Oh my God. Oh God. Uh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. You just when you read something so dumb, you just can't. Kind of hard to move beyond that one. Okay, I'm not. I'm trying to offer any commentary on that. There's so many different areas to go in on just that alone. Okay, move that off to the side. All right, next in your list of claimed care is behavioral disorders. Texas is last in mental health care access. I don't believe so, but whatever. I'll just grant it just to move it along. Yet Texas legislators like yourself keep that up. It's incredibly hard for people to get on med. I'm sorry, I haven't read these, so you're getting some real live reactions. It's going to be hard for people to get on Medicaid, and even those with insurance struggling accessing care here. You rejected Live Well Texas last session, so why act like you care about improving healthcare and thus mental health now? Um, again, I'm willing to be proven wrong on this one. I mean, I do know about Natsline. Natsline, I can't say his name, but I think he's actually a first timer. Could be wrong. I don't think I am, but I think it's his first time. So anyway, you rejected mental health training in schools and foster systems in Texas, alleged last session too. So again, why act like you care? Obviously, just no clue. All right, then you act like you care about teen pregnancy. Yet you require teens, even teen parents, to get prenatal consent for birth control and have stripped even more access through stripping funds and power from Title X clinics. And you know what keeps teen pregnancy going? Forcing it with your blah 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 blah, blah word I can't use or I'll get cut off of the tube here. Why act like you care? Oh my God! It's like it's almost like she's like 360 wrong. She's so wrong. She comes around to being right, and then I guess it's what force. Well, I don't know. I can't remember numbers here, but she's so wrong. She comes around right and then wrong again. I mean, it's oh my gosh. Again, this is what we're dealing with. This is the caliber. This is why I preach education and like learning the facts because it. Okay, Claudia may be just a mental whatever, and but she just may be uneducated, and all she ever watches is the big the three news stations that feed her nonsense, and she's not getting actual information or not getting educated. And that's why it's so important for us to go out and educate. All right, I'll just kind of keep going down the list here. Okay, as we go more in the bill, it's a resolution bill. I'm splitting hairs. Let's not be all whatever. It's like someone nailing you for misspelling a word or whatever. We can answer our questions of why you care, right? To instill a framework to creep your personal ideologies and religion into our government even more. What happens to personal liberties when you place in law how a family dynamic should be? When you place in law that your religious leaders should be involved in our most personal matters. And I'm hoping anyone here, is has like studied enough to be able to like combat every one of those completely inane comments. I mean, it should be like a multi-layered thing here, but oh my gosh, great. Okay, and then here we go. A mom and a mom can be a great family to kids. One mom can. There are so many dynamics that are great for kids and others that aren't. But it is case by case, and it is not you to legislate. This is what we're facing, folks. This person put pen to paper to send this in. I mean, there are people out there that think like this, that think that this is like right. I mean, they sent it, they wrote it, they didn't laugh through any of it, they were serious, and they sent it. This is why, again, learning how this stuff, learning about this stuff, why it's so important, so you can get out into the public square and teach people and educate them and knock them down nicely when it comes to it, and so yeah, just educate them. Okay, this does not represent a resolution about the importance of fatherhood. It does not represent personal liberty. It represents government control and hypocrisy. And again, I urge you not to support HCR 81, which is obvious at this point. One, this person has no idea what HCR means, or pretty much anything else. But again, this was submitted. And again, she did more than the other 29 million Texans did. So kudos, I guess. All right, moving down the list. Uh, Joyce Rosa. Again, so we got 1 for, it was a sentence, but again, more than 29 million other Texans did, but 1 for, 1 against. And now let's see here. I oppose. Okay, so we got now 2 oppositions, or 2 things in opposition of. I oppose and concern for ramifications regarding this bill, if not for the sole purpose of complete gender bias. This person in Texas with family law and all that, and with all the information that we should already know, the 94% and the blah, 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 and everything else, is concerned about gender bias and puts it to this resolution. I hope you're tracking with me here. Okay, complete gender bias. Affirming a parent over the other is in direct contradiction to the best interest of the child. Must be a lawyer. Personally, this bill is sexist, and it should be affirming that both parents are essential to the development of children, not just fathers. Just, okay, so I'm trying to move this along and make it quick. So we got 1 for, 2 against. Okay, let's look at the next one here. Taryn Champagne. I've never heard that name before. Who is? Oh, it's probably some weirdo. Okay, my name is Taryn Champagne, and I am in favor of HCR 81 by Representative Chesling. This resolution is long overdue in recognizing the importance that fathers play in the lives of children. Truly, the best interest of the child is for children to be raised in an intact 2-person household. Unfortunately, we do not live in a world where this ideal is celebrated, and must instead realize that we are facing instead realize what we are facing in the state of Texas. The state of Texas, out of a total of 1 million, let's just say 1.4 million cases with the Attorney General, the father is listed as non-custodial parent or absent as per the OAG software, which, by the way, kind of a sidebar here, the OAG software does call the non-custodial parent the absent parent. Yeah, that's their mindset. And they say it. Okay, in 1.3 million cases as of February 27, 2023. This represents approximately 91.2% of cases where the father plays a less than equal role in the lives of the child. Clearly, a bias is at play here that cannot be explained away by simply assuming the dad abandoned the kid. I am certain if an interim study was done by the committee, they would find that the overwhelming absence of fathers in children's lives is not from the dad walking out, but from the state forcing the dad out. Okay. I'm gonna not pick on Taryn here, but I'm gonna take this. Imagine if a Taryn, not the Taryn, but a Taryn went back to this person, went back to this person, and had had conversations with them in the past and enlightened them on that fact that 94% or from his numbers 91.2% of cases. Imagine, I mean, obviously Joyce here and Claudia could certainly still write whatever they wanted to write, but hopefully they wouldn't be so, no pun intended, but so self righteous about it. Um, they would go, because again, faced with a 91%, I say 94%, but based on that information, 90 plus percent, even the OAG is, as we said here, says that custodial mothers are, around 10%. But just imagine if that information became generally available to people, because I'm sure this person here, again, I'm making assumptions, but I'm sure this person got divorced or dealt with it and heard about a story and heard about one side of the story and made the conclusion that all poor women, blah, 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 blah. But if they had talked to someone, Bob, Taryn, Joe, John, Sue, Sally, whomever, that said, when they were talking about it or however it came up in casual conversation, like, when they're talking about their periods or whatever, or what Windows version they should buy. Sorry, side personal joke. They said something or made some kind of statement, and then that person went, I was reading or I got information, or I was on some idiot's website, this pissed off parent moron, and he actually had data that showed over 90% of all non-custodial parents are fathers. That's crazy. And then hopefully that person would go, "Ooh, I didn't know that," and then they would then maybe change their tune or at least have that information in the back of their head and wouldn't log in. One of the seven people log in and write the nonsense that they wrote. But that again, that's that whole education thing. Okay, so get back to this Terran Champagne guy who I have no idea who he is. As noted in the resolution, having the father involved in the child's life is a boon to the child and would lead to better outcomes. This is backed by decades of research, all available free on pissedoffparent.com. And yet, our state of Texas will do nothing about this. Bills that would truly get fathers more involved in the raising of a child, equal parenting bills, have languished in this committee for years. I'll say decades. And I'll say on a side note, I'd actually been communicating, actually in the earlier live that I did, I was communicating with the Jackson Jackson law firm actually is out of Texas, and they again law firm very sympathetic, empathetic, whatever to equal shared parenting and stuff like that. Something probably need to pursue, but anyway, it's a anyway, I'm sorry, kind of like mental brain fog there, but in language in the committee for years, actually 2 decades. We've had 20 years worth of bills. I think we again missed 1 or 2 sessions, and they've all deleted for weird, we don't know why reasons. Which, if you go to my website and look up that text copy that I had, you'll know exactly why it happened. But neither here nor there. All right, HB 453 of the 85th legislature session. I had one primary author and 7 co-authors, and never had a hearing. Oh, okay. He's actually listing some of the examples here. HB 2157 of the 86th legislative session. I had one primary author and one co-author, had a hearing near the end of April 2019, had 24 people testify in favor of it, an additional 13 sign up in favor of the bill, with only a total of 6 people opposed. I wonder who could have possibly opposed it. It was probably that moron judge, I can't remember, that was 2019. I think it was that moron judge out of Tarrant County that I made fun of her because she was talking about how it doesn't give the judge discretion. And as she's saying those words, I had the bill pulled up and actually highlighting where it actually says the judge has 100% discretion to do whatever the hell they wanted to. Funny, again, you got to make fun of these idiots. But anyway, whole other thing. All right. HB 803. Okay, had one primary author, 4 joint authors, and 17 co-authors. Once again, this bill is not heard until the end of April in the legislative session, limiting its opportunity to pass. And again, if you go to my website under that text, you'll see how that works and why. HB 803 had 77 people testify in favor of it, with an additional 46 individuals registering in favor of the bill. Of special note, this is one of the many games the legislative session plays. If you've been watching any of this stuff going on, you'll see their last second substitutions and crap like that. What they do here is they say that we're going to hear the bills at 9 a.m. and then they don't start until 3 in the afternoon. And then, of course, everyone's like, dude, I got to get back. I got, whatever, because they've already had to come in for their 3 minutes of talk time to offer their position on the bill. And so they just leave because they're like, they get frustrated. They do this on purpose. They're like the car salesman, the used car salesman. No offense to used car salesman, unless you agree with me, and then, yeah, you know where I'm at. But they just wear you down and they go, oh, nothing happened. That's just how it works. But anyway, so HB 803 had 77 people testify in favor of it, with an additional, oh crap, you know what? Hold on a second here. I want to, I think I, darn it. Hold on. I got a new thing here. Why is it not letting me do it? Okay, darn it. Okay, I thought I had it working. I didn't. I was going to put my magnifying glass on there so you can actually see as I'm going along for the old eye people. Anyway, sorry. Totally threw everybody off here. All right, HB 803 had 77 people testify in favor of it, with an additional 46 individuals registering in favor of the bill. How many bills in this committee have that many people even testify in favor of it? Good point. I can guarantee it is minimal. This bill, unfortunately, never made it out of committee. The current Equal Parenting House bill has one primary author on the JJFI committee. Isn't that a killer? Isn't that a funny? The person that wrote the bill is actually on the committee on the House side, and then, of course, on the Senate side, that's another one that hasn't done anything. 4 joint authors and 22 co-authors. This bill is unlikely to get a hearing this session due to inappropriate politicking. Politicking? Sorry, I'm a redneck. Despite being a much desired bill, testimony in the next submission, because they limit you to 3,000 characters, which I understand, you get some guy that's wordy. But if you got a guy here who's got a clue that's writing data and information and lining it up right, which Taryn's knocking that out, it probably makes sense. But anyway, all right. As the resolution notes, there are disincentives to father involvement, and a huge part of that is our broken legal system. I have equal custody of my son, and his life is all the better for it. He even told his mother that now things are equal. He doesn't feel like he is being torn apart. Go figure. What did it take to get there, though? My son's mother spent almost $100,000 fighting to keep me from being equally involved in his life. It took 7 years of fighting. I remember. Obviously, not as much as Taryn did, but I remember a lot of that stuff and the back and forth and the crap he went through and the dealing with these ignorant judges. And anyway, years of fighting, a divorce case, a SAPR case, multiple judicial complaints. Yeah, oh my God, I remember all those. Complaints in the court reporter. Oh yeah, the court report. Yeah, a mandamus, multiple interpleaders falling into my case, and family law corruption being exposed by being posted online. Yeah, he had to go like next level to get any type of relief here. He spent over $100,000, him and his ex-wife, on this, and who made all that money? Of course, the judges. Well, not directly, but indirectly, of course, the lawyers and all that, because they got no reason to stop this nonsense. I mean, the non-equal shared parenting bill or non-equal shared parenting, that's what feeds the system. And if you don't understand that, I can't help you. That's just the way I mean, it's so obvious that that's the way it is. Okay, in the Sapper case, this was all done as my wife battled leukemia, and we mourn the loss of the unborn child due to cancer. This case continued on despite my begging for a stop. Can any legislator or family law attorney tell me how this was in the best interest of my son? However, her attorney is still filling her with lies and nonsense. This greedy attorney grew fat on money given based on untruths. I mean, if you haven't watched a Divorce Corp, the movie, it is freely available out there somewhere, but watch it. I mean, that's what they do. Actually, in talking with the Jackson law firm, or seeing some of their comments, they've said so many. This is just yet another known fact. I mean, you get one attorney or one person unreasonable, and that blows the whole thing out of the water. And attorneys have zero reason to stop doing it because every time they file some senseless nonsense paperwork, they get paid for it. They don't care what the outcome is. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Finally, we came to an agreement after a corrupted attorney, Daryl Weinman, was broken. Oh, sorry. I remember that happening. It was a fun day. Was broken by me and ran cowardly away from the case, having robbed my son's mother of money that could have been spent on him instead. That's where I talk about, when you go to court and deal with this nonsense, you're selling your kids' inheritance. When I talk about legacy funds, or when I was talking about legacy funds earlier, or the previous podcast, all that time, money, effort, and everything that you put into all that's money that your kid's never gonna see. I mean, before I got involved, I mean, I'm only 25. Look what happened to me from going through divorce. I'm joking. I'm twice that age, but it ages you. And you're spending all your time versus spending your time with your children. You're spending your time dealing with stupid attorney that on purpose can't figure out what the hell's going on and files this and does that and is just dumb on purpose. And you're spending hundreds, thousands, tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars on that, and it's all done. It's selective incompetence. They do it on purpose, mispleadings and misdocument things. It's all done on purpose. And anyway, this Terrence spent over $100,000 dealing with it. He's one case. I mean, we've got hundreds of thousands of them across Texas alone. Imagine how much money is being met here. Of course, they don't want anything like that. All right. Okay. Okay. Ran cowardly from the case, having robbed my son's mother of money that could have been spent on him instead. After the devil, and I extend that title to most family law attorneys, was no longer whispering in her ear, she realized I wasn't the bad guy I was made out to be. Yeah. Finally had that one little spark of common sense that escapes so many. You want to remove disincentives to family involvement. Start with equal custody. Second, get oh boy, I am going to try to pronounce that word because I can't think yet. I'm trying to get there. Eviscerus? Yeah. Anyway, attorneys out of the court system. To fix those issues, you will have more fathers involved with the raising of children. My son certainly one day will be grateful for my tenacity, but you have to ask yourself, is that really what it takes in Texas to be an involved father? State of Texas must wake up and realize the importance of fathers. Every legislator on this committee has certainly been bombarded with research relating to this, and yet nothing is done session after session. You should finally get something done this session, pass this to show that you, as a body, are actually dedicated to doing something rather than merely nothing, rather than merely mouthing platitudes at us. Yeah. And then we have one. So we got one, two. Okay, two and two. All right, so the next one here is Cecilia Wood. Thank you, Representative Schatz for saying it out loud. Next to the absence of God, I have observed no other phenomenon in my generation that has so significantly contributed to the chaos that has enveloped the everyday lives of Americans and the collapse of the nuclear family as the incubator for happy children and productive citizens. Most commonly, this is caused by the absence of a strong, loving, committed father in the home. I believe that it is imperative to the survival of our state and our nation that this paradigm is restored. All elements of society, including the government, should be engaged in policies and actions that encourage strong families and acknowledge the high calling associated with parenthood. To that end, I support HCR 81 and ask that it be passed favorably from committee. Cecilia Wood, damn fine job. I mean, you couldn't make that any better. I mean, it's like bam, that she has encapsulated exactly. I wish let's see if I got applause over here. Hope my thing's working. Applause, applause, applause. Applause. Nope, that one's not working anymore. But anyway, great job. I mean that we need that type of stuff. I'd say we need like the Terrans of the world offering numbers, data, and all that, and then the Cecilia's offering, hey, this good commentary, good information that is going to hit the legislators. But anyways, okay, so we got what four? I think we're two and two, no, two and three. So we've got overall three positives, two negatives. All right. And then we got the last one, Alejandro. I'm in support of the resolution. Shared parenting in HB 3379 is a great way to ensure children have equal access to both of their fit parents. The science overwhelmingly supports this as the best way to support the emotional and psychological development of children after parents divorce and separate. So we got four and two. So a total of six people commented on this resolution for importance of fatherhood. I think that says a lot, unfortunately. Let's see here. Let's look at some quick notes. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, this is when I talk about where we need to get people educated. This was all the bills, just so everyone knows. These were all the bills that were presented. They were talking about. I don't think we're doing any retros. It's all still kind of mixed up in my head here. We did have the one about relating to fees. This is the one I'm almost 100% sure that allows the attorney to basically act as the debt collector. That any fees, they're able to go after you with everything. Child care expenses, another one. And the net research. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what we got here: involuntary termination, parent-child relationship. Anyway, I've talked through each of these bills a number of times. They all kind of mix together after a while. But again, we had this marathon. We had, I think, four or five folks that were on the ground there doing their thing. And when we look back at the comments by the 29 million Texans, this is what we got. No other way to put that. What I can say is that that committee has received, and these people individually have received the documentation that shows all the Nielsen studies. They've received the data on Texas for child support and custody. It's all known. Hell, they're family law attorneys. They should have already have this information, but they've been provided this information directly on who knows how many times. And that it's not that obviously, as you can tell. they're not going to be swayed by one or two. But let's just imagine if that HCR one, if it got 1,000 comments, and this is something where 5 minutes of your day, you sitting there and you punch something out. Hopefully, not what those one two or those one ladies did. Like this person, in a way, wasn't even talking about the bill. I mean, again, this is one of those people that are just, it doesn't matter what you're talking about. She's going to go ahead and change it into, her diatribe of nonsense. And then this other person, wherever she is, yeah. Um, there's something, the cookie batter is, a little off there. Not enough sugar or whatever. I have no idea what it is, but, so really we had what, three? Yeah, three people that wrote in and made comments, and I know it's a pain in the butt. Had I not been what I felt like was on death's door for the last week, I would have commented myself. Unfortunately, I was sleeping about 20 hours a day, and anyway, didn't have the energy to do anything until actually today, which is amazing. But okay, a whole separate thing. We've got to get more people involved. We've got to get more people jumping in and doing stuff. I mean, I know it's a pain in the ass. I know we've got to be watching shaking boobies and playing video games or drinking or being upset about a beer with a dude on it, and whatever else floats your boat. But these are our kids. This is our future, and there's not a whole lot we can do. I mean, we can go into our little individual networks and whine and moan, or you can, talk to your buddy and say how bad it sucks, the deal that you got, or you can say, you know what, done with this crap, need to figure out a way to make it work. When you look at the ways to make things work, only a few options that I'm allowed to legally talk about on an open public forum. And it's really, the things we've looked at, we can get, $1 million, and bribe these guys and magically make stuff pass. We all know that's not going to happen. So that's out. See, rallies. I'm going to go ahead and say that they're a waste of time. Others may disagree, but I would love to see the proof in the pudding. They've had a few things, but they don't do anything at the end of the day. The last thing I can think, the last peaceful thing I can think of is we start knocking these guys out of their jobs. That is the only other thing I can think of is, these guys are in there for a reason. It's not for serving oh God, I hope no one thinks it's serving the public. Please. It's basically making sure that, their desires and stuff get done. I mean, and if you don't believe me, if you're like, oh my God, he's so whatever, go to followthemoney.org and see who contributes to their campaigns, who gives them money, who does whatever, and that'll answer any questions that you have. I mean, don't even waste anyone's time by commenting or telling people that I'm nuts until you go there, see it for yourself. And then if you still, for some odd reason, think that I'm nuts, please hit me with everything you got. But again, followthemoney.org. Those type of sites will tell you exactly what's going on, but they're definitely not there for the betterment of society based on what they've passed so far and what they haven't passed. I mean, again, we had that lady that wanted to or sorry, not. I'm going to be very factual here. She wanted to make it to where a doctor or a person in authority isn't required to report a pregnant mother, smoking crack or other illegal drugs. It's actually illegal drugs on the bill. That they don't have to do that. So basically, okaying the mom smoking crack, and that's okay. And I later heard, can't go into the specifics at this point because I want to do something much bigger later. But she actually had no idea what the hell was going on. I mean, it sounded like a hand puppet. Someone shoved their hand up her butt and wrote this thing out because she obviously wasn't smart enough to write the words herself. This is what we're dealing with. But my plan is get enough people together and tell these guys, do what you're supposed to do, the right thing anyway, or you won't have a job. We'll find someone that will. Same thing in your guys' jobs. If you can't do the job, or someone hires you to make a building and you can't make the building, you're gone. Get somebody else. Not that hard. I mean, it's common sense, and if they feel threatened, they shouldn't at this point because not enough people willing to get together. Again, we've had what three, four things on this HCR 81, which is promoting fatherhood. This should have been low hanging fruit for everybody to log in there and write a couple words. Then that's the other part of it. I mean, how do you? Why would you expect Dutton, who received a what $80,000 thing from the Family Law Foundation? All the money coming into family law and all. Why would you expect them to turn their nose up to that and have one or two people that say, "Hey, I want equal shared parenting"? It just it financially it makes no sense. But if enough people say, "Hey, you don't do the job, you're gone. We will find someone that will do your job," then amazingly things may start happening. That's just how that has to work. I see. Yeah, Kennedy here is a quick comment. I just need to, the first step to get rid of judges in Houston courts dealing with family and child support courts. I mean, that's part of it here. As far as Houston, again, fairly large area. The fix the glitch thing, I mean, it's step three, four on the whole thing, but it's getting involved in your community, getting involved in the political process. I mean, again, our primary judges are they're elected. Well, the way to do it is just get 100,000 people that are in Houston Judge Bob's district that all band together and say, if this doesn't happen, if we don't start seeing equal shared parenting, and again, the judges have the ability to do 50-50. I mean, they rubber stamp this crap because again, money and all the other fun stuff. They could do 50-50. I mean, I got 50-50. So it can be done. They just choose not to for a variety of reasons. If you were to put enough muscle into it and talk to Judge Bob and say, "Hey, Judge Bob, I've got 100,000 people in your district that will vote against you in this next election, and you will lose your job unless I start seeing 50-50 equal shared parenting solutions here and all the shenanigans go away. See what happens." I mean, that's the way to do it. Unfortunately, everyone is so stuck in their own little world that's going to be, I would argue, impossible. I tried something similar here in Tarrant County for our district attorney because again, our district attorneys have a hell of a lot of power. They can actually call out the corrupt judges. I mean, if your judges, well, okay, let me go ahead and tell the first story and tell the second story. You guys are familiar with, oh boy, it's like the New York guy. He's a reporter down, I think, in the Houston area. I totally forgot his name. But anyway, he was arrested by a judge. I believe it was in Houston. But he was arrested, and the judge said that he was drunk or whatever it was, like he was acting all crazy. Well, the reporter guy, he actually had a pen on him that records everything, and he was able to show that the judge was full of crap and lying, and charges were filed that went to the DA. Wayne Del Solfino. There you go. Thank you, Joe. God, I hate getting old. I can't remember crap anymore. I think it's probably because I was sick last week. That's played havoc with my memory. But yeah, Wayne Del Solfino. Check out the video and you'll see all the things. It's on my. I think I got parts of it on my website. But yeah, go to Wayne Del Solfino's website or YouTube channel, and you can watch it happen. But they filed charges to have this guy kicked out off his bench. Went to the DA. Guess what the DA did? Went, not enough evidence. It was freaking videotaped. It couldn't have been any more black and white than what happened. It wasn't open for discussion. It was so obvious. But your DA was like, not going to do it. Wonder why. Again, the DA has a lot of control in the ability to do it. So, well, in my area, I was trying to get information out there and talk about our DAs, and it was on the topic of 2503. Because again, with the custodial interference, which, as we all know, is the Diet Coke of state jail felonies. I did an analysis, did research on it, got all my numbers available on the website. Actually, even took our local sheriff to task on it. Also, videos out there. He promised to do something about it, which to date he hasn't done anything that I've seen. He's not returning my phone calls either. Go figure. But we asked the two DA guys that were going for the DA role. And the one DA that was going for it said, she wasn't very familiar with it, but she was going to look into it. I gave her a whole bunch of information. She's like, oh, hell yeah, let's get something going. Of course, if she gets elected, yada, yada, yada. And then the other guy came on, and I have the video. He came on one of our local personalities shows and said, I ain't going to do squat. So that told me who I need to vote for. I need a DA that's actually going to enforce the rules. This guy's a moron. But the people in my area couldn't be bothered. They had their color slash letter after the name of the person they were wanting to vote for, and nothing could dissuade them from that because they were stuck in their own mental. And these were people that were impacted by the issue I was talking about. That's the other crazy thing. But again, we've got to figure out a way to get people the same mindset and to go after like one judge or one DA or one whatever, put all the effort into it, and then once that person's dethroned, we get the right person in, then we can say, okay, you look at the next judge and go, guess what happened to your buddy over here? You want the same thing to happen to you? Clean your shit up. I mean that's my thinking on it. Could be wrong, could be crazy, whatever. But I don't know anything else that's at this point under the peaceful umbrella that's going to work. But I wish you luck in yours. But Houston, obviously a very large area. You're gonna have to get involved in politics and start going to these things, and you have to unfortunately get enough media out there that is going to change the minds. Yeah, can I see you were saying, yeah, people in office don't care. They don't. At the end of the day, they don't give two shits about you. Fact. What we see every single day proves it. But by the same token, they're allowed to lie to you and blow smoke up your ass and get away with it because people are more wanting to watch bouncing titties and who's on a beer can than to push these people. There's not enough people pushing back saying, no, you lied, or we're going to hold you to these promises. I mean, again, picking on the DA that we have now, this moron was saying that he's going to take care of bail reform. The DA can't do that. That's not in his freaking job description. I did get him to take that down off of his Facebook page because I called him out on it and had to push on that issue. But these guys, they're going to do whatever they can to get away with it. They're going to. I mean, you got librarians that are going for their position that are talking about that they're going to fight for your Second Amendment right. I mean, it's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and unfortunately, the people are so stupid. And you read a couple of the comments right here of people that testified against HCR 81, the bill, that again, we've got to educate. It's got to be a multi kind of faceted approach. We've got to educate people and get them like thinking with their brain. And then we've then got to get mobile and push people to start either voting the right way or voting with an amount of common sense and look at where the values are. We have values. Last I heard, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it, but we can't get people to get off their ass. I mean, I before I got sick, I had been putting stuff out here. Hey, here's the link. Here's a draft. Here is all this information to all of the followers and all these different channels I'm on that I pay for, by the way. And I don't want any money for. I'm just saying I've got some skin in this game to go ahead and send comments down here. We got 4. It's one of those, you can bust your ass, but when the people don't want to do anything about it, it is what it is, and people then deserve what they get. If retroactive child support goes through, which I'm on the fence because I don't think anything that was said in the last 2-3 weeks and the emails and all that stuff, that's not going to dissuade these yahoos one bit. They've already, dude. You got five bills, four in the House, one in the Senate, all written almost word for word with slight little differences on purpose, mind you. They've all played the substitution crap at the very end, and then each one of them have ignored everything else. The only people that have pushed that have I think successfully pushed back and given them pause on this is the Office of the Attorney General. Go figure. Because oh hey, guess what? Their archaic mainframe system can't even handle what it has today. There is no way in hell, and this is what they're saying, that they can't handle what if this bill goes in. They will not be able to handle it. They did a $60 million complete turd application they had to flush. And I shouldn't laugh because it was our $60 million, but they did that and that didn't work out. But they were the ones. I mean, okay, God, I'm going full circle here. During the OAG's discussion with the yahoos about the retroactive child support, you could tell the committee and the bill writers had never had the conversation with anyone about how retroactive child support works and who does. They were talking about lawyers and doing this and doing that. The OAG guy goes, yeah, 99% of the people that go through this process, they don't have attorneys. So I mean, there was just so many different pieces of this that made it. It was just so obvious this was a stupid. These were five stupid bills that should not have seen the light of day. And if that doesn't work, they should then go to Indiana and see what happened when they did implement it. But they didn't talk to anybody. They're again the Title 4D and all that. So the greed, which gets me back to these people don't could care less about the people. All right, I'm like going all over the place, guys. This session is pretty well over. I think it's like May 8th. I think was the date. Is the last date to hear bills or to do anything or to move anything through or whatever. Unless a Hail Mary miracle thing happens. And again, I'm gonna equate it back to that tweet. On how that's going to work as far as hearing the equal shared parenting bill either in the House or the Senate. It's not going. I mean, it's unlikely, if at all. I would almost say for everyone, take 2 weeks and go, sleep it off, go have fun, and then we need to get again 1 million Texans. I mean, we got 29 million Texans in the state, based on the last census report. If we can get a percentage of those to get off their asses and get involved. I'm not talking about the folks that are on right now. I mean, hopefully you guys, when I'm talking about people, get off your ass and quit looking at shaking boobies. Although on the shaking booby thing, I did a video 2 days ago or a day ago about with shaking boobies in it. That video, 7 times the number of views on the channels I push to than all my other videos. Just data. You can interpret it however you want to, but shaking boobies gets a lot of views. Informational videos don't. Weird. Anyway, okay, I'm going way off the thing. Joe, I think you kind of nailed it. They were just throwing shit in the wall to see if it'll stick. Yeah, I mean, again, at this point, they've got no intentions to look at the bill. They're not going to, and even if they read it, they're gonna wipe their ass with it, and that'll be the end of it. They're not gonna do anything with it. And I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But they're going to be able to say, "Oh, we did something," or they're looking for a reason. The pissed off parent came on and was critical. Oh, that's why they did it, or they got this mysterious phone call or email, or somebody broke wind at the Walmart. Well, they don't probably don't shop at Walmart. They're not normal people. But somebody broke wind too loudly next to them at the local Walmart. Or whatever, they're not going to read the bill. They're looking for a reason not to, and then pin it on a person, a group, or whatever that is. It's nonsense. Because if you think about it logically, I did a video a week or so ago breaking out the 25, 26, whatever people that were friendly or that co-authors of the bill. It represents like 18% of the population as a constituents for Texas. For them to thumb their nose at that is completely asinine and stupid. I mean, if their pride is such that, they're like, oh, I'm scared, and oh, so and so, Dwayne Ward, whoever was so scared me or whatever, so I'm not going to read you a bill. I mean, really? I mean, like, really? That's what's going to do it for you? Is that if your ego is so inflated that it can be popped by imagined or real pressure like that? I mean, really? Okay, I'm just going way off here because and I'm just getting pissed off. Hence the pissed off parent. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm gonna again diving through the videos. Gonna try to get some best stuff because I know no one besides me is gonna sit there for 6 hours and chop up videos that hopefully people will or will not watch. If you get a chance, watch that last one I did. It was my last little bit of funny for that one chick on InstaSnap that uh, again we got to fight against just the dumb stuff that's coming out. I mean, we got to get more and more people there. But I hope everybody, and I got to remember to do this. I'm hoping actually I might be switching software for streaming, which I think is going to be like a really cool thing. It's like another 200-300 bucks a year, but I kind of want to do it just because it'll be cool. And I'm a nerd and I enjoy it. But I hope everyone's having a good day. Guys, like, share, subscribe. It's not for me. It's so I can get numbers to then go to the legislature at some point and say, hey, look, I've got 500,000, 100,000, something more than 700 subscribers that listen to me for some strange odd reason. And this bill is stupid. You need to fix it, change it, put what we want there, or you're not going to have a job the next go around. I want to be able to do that, but with 700 subscribers, it ain't going to happen. The other thing is, if you don't feel like subscribing because you're too cool for school, go to my website, get all my free crap, read it, get educated. That way, when you bump into Joyce or Claudia or someone like that, or that other, let's see, let me pop. Yeah, when you pull up next to her, you can educate her on how wrong she is and all that. So anyway, hope everybody has a great rest of your day. I'm going to peace out of here and figure out what the hell I'm going to do with the rest of my evening. Y'all have a good one.
Matter the cost.
You got the time.